So there's like three things that I want to address pretty quickly. One that you guys mentioned. One is that super programmer bottleneck. You mentioned Cody, but I see this a lot on teams that I'm coaching right now. There's one developer who's key in a particular technology, and all the other developers are good developers. But when there's any questions, they have to go to him or her, right? And the mob or ensemble kind of eliminates that, because gradually what they were talking about is that dissemination of knowledge happens, and you no longer have that bottleneck. When somebody leaves the mob, if they're the super programmer and they go on vacation, you're not going to skip a beat. The second is about upskilling team members and delivering solutions faster. I for the very beginning part of my career, I had started off as a COBOL programmer, and then I went to Java, and I was still writing procedural Java. The OOP stuff wasn't clicking. I took to JavaScript in the UI, so I learned JavaScript and CSS, but we were still considered full stack developers. I was not very good at the back end stuff at the beginning of my career, and then I did projects where I was the only UI person. If something happened to me, right, nobody else knew how to do CSS or jQuery, right? Ensemble programming takes care of that. Everybody learns everything, and then as far as the OOP principles that I was personally struggling with, once I have to admit, for most of my career, and most of the code I still see today that's going into production in large enterprises is procedural Java, because I tend to work with that back-end language. And the only way I really learned, I read all the books, I did all the research, Head's first design patterns, how to refactoring the patterns. Of course, Josh, I read your book, it's sitting right behind me. But it wasn't until I was with an ensemble of people like Brett and Jeff Langr and these guys that were actually implementing these, and I got to see them in a real huge commercial application being implemented. It got me past that hump that all the online tutorials and all the e-learning couldn't get me. About 5 years ago, that light bulb went from just being a dim thing to, oh, wow, now I finally get it. And I would not have got that without ensemble programming.